The Air Jordan 1, my favorite sneaker of all time, but sometimes the high top version is just out of reach depending on the colorway because you guys know resale prices do get really high up there. So Jordan Brand created the Air Jordan 1 Mid, and that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. We're going to be talking about my top 10 Air Jordan 1 Mids for 2021. Now before we dive into the top 10, there are a bunch of honorable mentions I have to mention in this video because I didn't think about it at first, but when I was compiling my list for this video, there was a lot of solid Air Jordan 1 mid releases this year, which I do want to give some attention to. And of course, if you guys want to buy any Jordan 1 mids in this video, I'll leave links down below to the top 10 or places like Foot Locker, Nike, and it'll just give you whatever Jordan 1 mids they have for sale available right now, and of course places like StockX as well. And just a heads up, when it comes to 2022, there's going to be a lot of Air Jordan 1 mids releasing. Jordan Brand is going hard, they're doubling down on the silhouette, so if you like the Jordan 1 mid or just Jordan 1s in general, make sure you guys subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss those news videos when they come out. And one last thing before we dive into the mids, I want to talk about this Jordan 1 high real quick because we're actually giving it away in this video and in the top 10 series we're doing this week. So if you want to enter the giveaway to win this pair for free, a size 9.5 pair, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, hit that like button down below, and comment down below what you think about my top 10 list and if you bought any Jordan 1 mids this year and what was your favorite Jordan 1 mid of the year. Just talk to me about Jordan 1 mids in the comment section. I'll reply to a ton of you and I'll heart a bunch of comments as well. With that said, if you want to get more chances to win this pair, we're also doing a top 10 Jordan 1 low and a top 10 Jordan 1 high video. So check out those videos respectively, like and comment on those videos as well for another entry. And of course, follow your boy on Instagram. It is at SneakerTalkCA, and you'll have about 5 to 6 ways to enter for this shoe. So your odds are going to be pretty fair, I want to say, and we might even throw in an extra Nike Dunk Low as a bonus giveaway prize for like a runner-up. So with that said, let's dive into the honorable mention. First honorable mention would have to be the University Gold Air Jordan 1 Mid. Next up, we have the Zigzag Air Jordan 1 Mid, which definitely was under the radar for a lot of people. We also got the Tropical Twist, which released over the summer. Armory Navy Mid, which I reviewed on either this channel or my second sneaker channel, SneakerTalk 365. We also got the Light Smoke Gray / Pine Green Jordan 1 Mid, which have a premium touch. They're an SE silhouette. This one might surprise you, but we got the All-Star Weekend Carbon Fiber pair. I know this might probably be in your top 10, but it's an honorable mention for myself. This one was tough to put in my honorable mentions, but we got the Tan Gum Bottoms. These are really nice, but it just didn't make the cut. Another one that might surprise you are the Color Change Air Jordan 1 Mid, a really unique pair of mids. We don't really see like too many mids with a really cool concept to it, but I just wasn't feeling them that much. Next up, we have the Air Jordan 1 Mid Denim. This is a pair that was inspired by the Levi's Air Jordan 1 collaboration from many years ago, and I just think they're actually horrible and ugly looking. But hey, if you like them, do you. And the final honorable mention for this portion of the video is not a shoe that came out in 2021. It actually came out in 2020, but they did do a restock at the start of this year, which would have to be the Royal Air Jordan 1 Mid, which is a fantastic colorway. And by the way, I'll have reviews for a lot of these sneakers linked in the description down below, so if you guys want to follow up and learn more about these mids, I got you covered. With the honorable mentions out of the way, the giveaway details out of the way, all that good stuff, let's finally dive into my top 10 Air Jordan 1 mids of 2021. Coming in at number 10, we have the Air Jordan 1 Mid Mocha. This is a shoe that definitely speaks to me on a fall winter vibe level. I love the brown colors for when it comes to this time of the year, and brown like this is not a kind of colorway or color palette we're used to seeing on the Jordan 1 Mid. Now of course, they did release a low top version of the Mocha ones, and I love those. I love those shoes so much. They made it really high up on my top 10 Jordan 1 low list, but the mid tops, they didn't really do it for me. I'm not a huge fan of the way they did the color blocking on this. I wish there was a little more white. If they made the Mocha mids look more like the low top or the high top version, I probably would have liked them a lot more, but just the way the color blocking was done made me not like them as much. Coming in at number 9, we got the Jordan 1 Mid Gray, Black, Red. There wasn't no particular nickname for this shoe. Same goes for a lot of the mids in this list. Mids don't really have a specific nickname for the most most part, we actually just say the color code, unless there's like a special kind of like reason to call it a special name, like the shattered backboard mids or something like that. So we have this pair right here, which is kind of like a shadow Jordan 1 mid with a little pop of red on the wings. Really nice. I never ended up seeing these in store, and mids are typically a shoe you often find in store. Like when it comes to a Jordan 1 mids are the ones you'll typically find sitting on shelves at stores like Nike or Foot Locker or Champs. This one was so popular, I didn't think I ever saw it once in a store. Coming in at number 8 is surprising myself because I felt like I would have ranked it higher. However, there was a lot of strong Jordan 1 mid releases this year. So coming in at number 8, we have the Air Jordan 1 mid corduroy. This was a women's exclusive Jordan 1 mid, and they also did a low top version as well, which I actually prefer more than the mid top model, just like the mochas. But in this case, I just don't think it is as wearable as a shoe for me compared to the low tops. Don't get me wrong, fantastic shoe, really dope colorway, color blocking is on point as well, but that corduroy is like the piece, the cherry on top that really makes this shoe what it is. I mean, it is called the Air Jordan 1 mid corduroy after all. I'm a lover of corduroy, and I love the fact that they actually put a corduroy version of the mid out to the public, because the low tops were great, the mids were pretty nice as well. But yeah, it's at number 8 for this list. Coming in at number 7, we have an Air Jordan 1 mid inspired by the very, very popular and hyped up Air Jordan 1 High Dior. We're talking about the Air Jordan 1 mid Wolf Gray. Similar to the other sneakers on this list, there was also a low top counterpart as well that did release, and this mid top version is actually really, really solid. Even if they didn't put out the Diors, I think this is a really good shoe on its own. I like the combination of materials on this shoe with the leather and the nubuck, and then the icy sole is a really nice touch to wrap up the shoe. And best of all, they actually have a Nike swoosh on the side that matches that icy sole. They could have easily gone with like a gray swoosh instead, but they went with that light shade of blue, and it looks really, really good. One funny thing I want to mention about a lot of the pairs that I talk about in the top 10 list, a lot of them are women's exclusive pairs. So Jordan Brand really showed a lot of love to the ladies out there this year. If you are a fan of the women's releases I'm going to be talking about in this video, and you're a guy, you can totally wear them. Like a lot of Jordan 1s are unisex. However, one thing you need to know about sizing is it is slightly different to men's sizing. You've probably heard me say this before, but if you're a guy, go your regular size in a Jordan 1 mid. But if you're a guy getting a woman's shoe, you have to go 1.5 sizes up. So that goes for like any brand. That is the conversion. So I'm usually a size 10 men's, and women's I have to get a size 11.5. But like, don't let it stop you just because it's a woman's release or a woman's exclusive colorway. Don't let that label on the box be the reason that stops you from wanting to wear a pair, because hey, shoes don't really have a sexuality. They're literally leather and cloth and just all stitched together. So don't worry about the labels and stuff like that. In fact, a lot more shoes on this list are women's exclusive, so I just want to put that as a small disclaimer. Which will take us to our number 6 pair. We have the Air Jordan 1 mid Light Smoke Gray. Now, Light Smoke Gray is not something we're not used to seeing when it comes to ones. They release a lot of Light Smoke Grays over the years for when it comes to ones with lows, mids, and highs, and this version of the Jordan 1 mid is phenomenal. I love the way they did the color blocking on it. It isn't weird, it isn't tacky. They did a little mixture of materials on the shoe, which usually is kind of iffy for me, but the color blocking and the little pops of black on the outsole and the swoosh bring together a really solid sneaker for everyday wear. And this particular pair actually has some pretty high resale value, along with a lot of the other mids on this list. On to number 5, we have the Dutch Green Air Jordan 1 mid. I would have put this sneaker up higher on the list. However, I'm just not too crazy about the little pops of pink on the shoe. They do have pink on the laces and pink on the Jumpman and pink on the Wings logo. You of course can swap out the laces with white laces or black laces, but I'm not gonna let that stop me from appreciating the shoe. The shoe is really, really nice, and it was an SE release, so the quality on these were slightly elevated compared to your regular general release Air Jordan 1 mid. I honestly think that this Jordan 1 mid was a sneaker they could have easily released as a high top silhouette if they wanted to go that route, but instead they made it a mid, and hey, people love the shoe, and the resale prices on the aftermarket do speak for how much people like this shoe. Coming in at number 4, we have the Air Jordan 1 mid Cider or Paint Splatter. This is a shoe that definitely catches your eye if you're walking past somebody, because it doesn't have your typical Nike swoosh that we're used to seeing. It actually has this sort of like brush stroke kind of look to it, which is very, very unique when it comes to any sort of Air Jordan 1, because typically they don't really mess around when it comes to that famous Nike swoosh. You know, like when they do sneakers like the Travis Scott sneakers where they flip the swoosh around, that's a really big deal. So anytime they touch the swoosh in any way, it definitely is going to stand out in the sea of Jordan 1 mid releases, or just Jordan 1 releases in general. On top of the cool swoosh, this colorway is actually super wearable with a white canvas upper to complement it with some of like this corkboard-esque brown. It looks really clean. The color blocking on it is really solid as well, and the paint splatters throughout the shoe on the midsole and the upper are some nice little details. If you were like me and you really enjoyed painting growing up in art class in junior high, you might like this shoe a lot. I kind of wish they did the sneaker with some leather accents and some nubuck and some suede and all that kind of stuff, but at the same time it would take away from the whole cider, the whole like painter aesthetic that they have going on with the shoe. Now they also did a low top version as well, which was honestly kind of lackluster. I didn't like it at all. This is one of those cases where the mids were definitely better than the lows in my opinion, compared to earlier in the list where the lows were better than the mids. Not only that, the swooshes on the shoe are two different colors. On the outside you have the black brushstroke swoosh, and on the inside you have that tan brown, which looks really cool. So if I were to keep any of these mids in my collection, this would probably be one of the mids. And I bought a lot of mids this year. You guys know I review mids a lot. Coming in at number 3, we have the Syracuse Air Jordan 1 mid, and this was a women's exclusive as well. Sort of reminding me of like a Shattered Backboard 2.0 with the way the color blocking is done with this white and orange. And the one really nice thing about this women's release is it is an SE release where they really took care of you in terms of quality. Typically when it comes to Air Jordan 1 mids, the quality department is the department where it is really lacking. Like, it is noticeable. It's very noticeable when you compare any kind of mid to a high top silhouette. The difference in quality and quality control, you're gonna notice more glue stains and scratches, and it's just not as a nice overall finished product. So when I saw these come out and they were a women's release and an SE release, I knew that Jordan Brand was taking care of us, and it is a really solid pair. If you love the whole Shattered Backboard theme, that look of white and orange on your Jordan 1 mids or Jordan 1s in general, but you don't want to, you know, pay those high resale prices, the Syracuse Jordan 1 mid is definitely a great option for you available. On to number 2, our runner up for Jordan 1 mid of the year. This was tough putting it at number 2. It was back and forth for me, honestly, what would be number 1, what would be number 2. But before we get to number 2, I do have 2 final honorable mentions, which you could potentially swap in depending on your favorite colors. So our 2 honorable mentions for the second slot would have to be the Pollen Air Jordan 1 mid and the Racer Blue Air Jordan 1 mid. Now if you know these 2 sneakers, you probably know where I'm going with for number 2. So our number 2 spot is the Air Jordan 1 mid Gym Red. The Air Jordan 1 mid Gym Red is what I would have to say is the most popular Jordan 1 mid of the year. They released so many pairs of this silhouette throughout the year. They did a couple restocks as well, which kept the resale prices at a pretty fair price, and now they're starting to go up. If you love the Jordan 1 High Gym Red, or if you love the Chicago Bulls and its history with Michael Jordan, you guys know anything with red, Gym Red, University Red, those do really well on Jordan 1s. With this mid, you're getting a really solid colorway with no compromise on the color blocking, and it's a super wearable sneaker for everyday wear. And I did do a review on these shoes on the channel already, so you guys can check it out if you haven't seen it yet already, but it was a really popular review. It'll be linked down below again with a lot of reviews for these shoes I'm talking about today and links to buy the Jordan 1 mid. Finally, let's get to the last Air Jordan 1 of the video, but before we do, a quick reminder to enter the Air Jordan 1 High Pollen giveaway just by subscribing to the channel, hitting that like button down below, and commenting what you think about my Jordan 1 mid list. What was your favorite Jordan 1 mid of the year, and which Jordan 1 mids did you end up buying yourself? Let's get to our number 1 Jordan 1 mid of the year. Taking our number 1 spot, we have the Air Jordan 1 mid Kentucky women's exclusive colorway. This is a shoe that, just like the Syracuse, was a women's exclusive, and the materials were on point as well. If you're a fan of the Air Jordan 1 High Storm Blue, you would know how much those have gone up over the last few years. The resale prices on those is pretty, like, realistically really high up there. So this mid-top alternative is a fantastic budget option if you want to rock a white and blue Air Jordan 1 mid, or just Jordan 1 without breaking the bank. When it comes to the Kentucky Air Jordan 1 mid, it's basically the Syracuse ones I showed you guys earlier that got 3rd place, but the whole orange color palette is all blue instead. The quality and the little shimmer shine on the leather, like the colored portions of the shoe, are exactly the same. It's just blue, and I think the blue looks better than the orange. It makes more sense to wear as a daily beater kind of shoe as well, and that does mean that because it is an SE and a woman's exclusive release, that the quality on these was on point. If you were to tell me this was a woman's exclusive sneaker, I would have never guessed it, but it is. So there you guys have it. That is my list for the top 10 Air Jordan 1 mids of the year. You guys can click on screen right now to check out my top 10 lows of the year and top 10 highs of the year. Happy New Year, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.